Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Divine Malzar, and I'm coming at you today with my buddy Alpha Lion. Alpha, go ahead and say hello, brother.
Hey, what's up?
Today we're going to be going over some DBZ theories that we have come up with for Freiza's Ressurection. The internet is pretty much exploding with information. The movie's dropping in April of 2015, which is only a couple of months away, guys. And everyone is coming up with multiple theories of what they think is going to happen, how Lord Frieza is going to come back, how he's going to get the power to fight a Super Saiyan God. And what we wanted to do today was bring a couple of those ideas of what we think is going to happen to you. Alpha Lion had a great theory that he brought up. And what we did was we went over a couple different ways of how it could come to be. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to let Alpha over there bring us up to speed on what he thinks is how everything's going to come to light. And once we get through that, we're going to go through one other idea we have. And then we'll get to a couple of different ideas we have for different characters and how they became to be in the positions that they're in this movie. And all we have to go off of right now is a tiny little trailer with the dragon and a movie poster. But the movie poster itself does shed a lot of light on what could happen. So, Alpha, would you want to go ahead and take that and bring your theory to the table?
Oh, yes, of course. Well, as you see, Akira has basically introduced these two new characters, Sorbet and Togama, I believe it is, Tagama, whatever you want to pronounce it as. Now, obviously, the remnants of Frieza's army, basically the survivors, most likely on some other planet that they were at or some of that nature. We don't really know the details so much, but basically, obviously, they get the Dragon Balls that are going to wish Frieza back to life. Okay, there's a big flaw in that already. Obviously, Shenron can't bring back somebody that's been dead for over a year. So with that being said, the only thing they could possibly wish for to bring Frieza back is to wish if Goku had never existed. Because obviously, what they might know is that Goku was the one that defeated Frieza, even though technically speaking, Trunks was the one that killed Frieza. We're not supposed to talk about that though. And basically, they don't know that because they were probably told that Goku was the one that killed Frieza. Because all we know is Frieza went to planet Earth to go kill Goku for revenge for basically destroying him and whooping him just out of the ass. So with that being said, they probably think that, getting rid of Goku means bringing Frieza back. Well, unfortunately, if Goku's gone, the entire Earth timeline that we know is completely broken at this point. And that's the theory that we basically come to the conclusion of, what if there's a world without Goku? What can possibly arise from this?
By Goku not ever existing, there's a couple of things that can come into play. One of the main things that we're going to talk about here to get to the second part of our theory is that if he never existed, that means a lot of things didn't happen. Raditz never came to Earth. Dr. Gero never created the androids, or Cell, for that matter, for them to destroy him. Krillin never met him, and Yamcha never met him. So, for all we know, Krillin and Yamcha could have became Earth's mightiest heroes. And Krillin never met Android 18, so he never had to grow hair. That could be one reason why he doesn't have any hair on the photo. That, or he just shaved his head because he's like, hey, you know what? I want to be bald again. 18's okay with it now. She likes bald guys. But what we really wanted to say was, if this wish was made and Goku was never to exist, it could change a lot of, actually it would definitely change a lot of things. A lot of things will change, but the way we found a way to get around that with our theory that we have of how Frieza comes back. Beerus and Whis catch wind of this wish, because they're the gods of the universe, and, well, their universe, and, they're gods, so I'm sure they have their means of knowing things, telepathy, whatever. They find out, they come back to Earth, they get all the Z Fighters. We're talking even Chi-Chi, Bulma, the whole Sun family, obviously, everyone. Bring them to their universe, and then on some Doctor Who stuff, they're trapped in that universe's bubble. So even though that wish was made and they don't exist over there, and Frieza's back and everything changed, they're still existing in that universe. Here's the big catch, though. The whole entire Sun family can't leave Beerus and Whis' universe, or they will just poof, not exist anymore. But that leaves a lot of things open to interpretation. Krillin can go back to that universe. Yamcha can go back to that universe. And most of all, who's the strongest one out of that bunch besides Goku that can go back to that universe? Vegeta. Now we have Vegeta coming into play, becoming the Super Saiyan God. They have Pan there, they've got Gohan, Goten, Trunks, everyone that they need to create a Super Saiyan God. They have the 6 pure Saiyans there. It can be done. And that's most likely what we think is going to happen. And Alpha, I think you had one or two more things you wanted to add to that as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. There's something I'm really confused about, though, about that. You see, what would lead up is, how could Frieza have gotten as strong as he is now? Now, in the picture, we see that he has some kind of god powers. At least that's what it looks like at this point.
Yeah, it looks like he has a god aura around him.
And it's like, how could he have gotten this at any point in time in the storyline, which is what is baffling about that picture. Because we know good and well Frieza at his point, even if he was we wish back, or even if like he never died, can he possibly get strong enough to fight a Super Saiyan God Vegeta, let alone a Super Saiyan God Goku? Or the God of Destruction Beerus at that matter. So what Akira needs to explain, basically, what's in the movie, obviously, is how did Frieza acquire these powers?
Yeah, because this whole entire time Frieza's been in hell, in the current timeline that we're in, and we all know Dragon Ball is full of alternate timelines. The theory you brought up about how Trunks actually killed Frieza and said, we're not going to talk about that. That actually is a mind-blown factor in itself. The whole entire world as we know it wants to implode and explode when you bring that fact to the table. And we'll try to touch base on that in a few minutes here, guys. But the thing that we're talking about right now is how could Frieza have acquired so much power? Whether he acquired it in hell somehow, in training, or because we all know you can gain power in the other world. I mean, Goku came back a hell of a lot stronger figuring out how to do Super Saiyan 3 because his body had no limitations in the other world and he could push it a lot farther. There's that fact. Also, he could have came back to life, and his two little minions that we're going to get to in a bit, for all we know, I mean, we all know that both planets, Earth and New Namek, have 3 wishes with the Dragon Balls. One of the ideas that I had was they wish him back to life, they wish Goku never existed, and they wish that Frieza's power was 1,000,000-fold what it is now. And I guess when you reach a certain amount of power, you kind of just become a god at that point. And that's one idea that I personally had, and I actually, I think I told you that one, Alpha, a little while ago when we were messaging on Skype. But that's one theory. That's one theory. And Alpha, you had brought up a good point there about the Trunks thing. I think we should kind of wait on that one though and stick to some of these ideas we got going right now.
Yeah, there's also something else. Sorbet and Tagama, if they come back, you would think to not have the repeat of his death, you would think they would wish for immortality for Frieza. But then again, if they only have 2, it depends. The Shenron, he grants 2 wishes now, doesn't he? Or does he only grant 1?
Well, gosh, this is gonna make us look kind of bad. I thought that the Earth Dragon Ball is granted 3 wishes now.
If that's the case, why in the world didn't they ask for more wishes from Shenron? When in the Battle of Gods movie, they asked for 1 wish. That's it.
Yeah, they did only use 1 wish in the Battle of the Gods dub, and that was kind of strange. I'm sure there's a lot of Dragon Ball Z heads right now that are probably going to punch us in the face, but keep in mind we are huge DBZ fans. We have seen Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT in all the movies. Some of them we haven't seen in a few years, but I am currently watching through Kai, if that means anything. But let's get back to our theories here. I don't want to stray too far from this. Basically, these 2 guys, where did they come from? That's one of the big questions that Alpha asked, and I agree with. Where did they come from? Where have they been all these years? Were they just not on Namek when Frieza fought Frieza? Were these 2 of his more loyal subjects aside from Zarbon and Dodoria? That's a really big question. I mean, they obviously went out of their way to wish Frieza back to life, so they had to have been pretty close to him. All right, guys, we're back, and we actually have a new friend of ours that hopped into the Skype call. He goes by Black Phoenix. Say what's up, Phoenix.
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to pick right back up where we left off. We're talking about Sorga and Tagome, I believe their names are. And we've been talking about who they are, where they're from. And we came up with another part of the theory that we've been talking about. And what we think happens is these 2 are going to... for all we know, they were off conquering planets for a while. Maybe they showed up on New Namek, not knowing that it's New Namek, to see Frieza, and he wasn't there. And they find out that he was killed by a Saiyan on Earth named Goku. They obviously can't use the Namekian Dragon Balls because they can't speak in Namekian tongue to talk to Purunga, so they head over to Earth. What they do when they get to Earth is by the way, the Dragon Balls on Earth have 2 wishes, we did confirm that. And what they're going to be doing is wishing Frieza back to life and wishing that Goku never existed, which we've already addressed all that. So by wishing Frieza back to life, the thing we wanted to talk about with the God power was, we obviously, as we had mentioned before, there was no limitations for Goku's power to accumulate in Otherworld, and for all we know, guys, Frieza could have achieved a form beyond his brother Cooler's form, that 4th form. For all we know, he could have achieved the 4th form. In the 5th form, he just reverts back to his 3rd, and he's in God form. And for all we know, guys, there might be a form in this movie that we haven't seen yet.
Dude, could you imagine Frieza having some form that looks like Cooler's form? Like, I mean, his first form, the way he looked? Or was it second
elevated
form?
from that, too, you know?
If you're talking about the one with the mask.
That was his fourth form. What were his other two? Did we ever even
We
ask?
never
Well-
actually see him. He just shows up in the third form.
Yeah, he shows up in the third form, and then he brags to Goku, I've achieved a form beyond my brothers. He goes to the fourth form, puts his little Mortal Kombat mask on, and Super Saiyan is still a lot stronger than him. So that's why I'm thinking there's got to be a form beyond that, because if you look at the power multipliers of Super Saiyan, they're pretty intense. Normal Super Saiyan, I believe, is somewhere around 10,000. I mean, these numbers are all speculation, guys, but there are official ones, and I can't remember them off the top of my head, but they're pretty intense. The first one is like, I think, 3,000. The second one's 10,000, and Super Saiyan 3 is like 40,000 power-fold. So imagine, in Frieza's family timeline's power boosts. I mean, in his final form, his form's well over 1 million. So let's say he gets to fourth form. That's going to probably be a lot higher, as Goku's was well over 1 million. So imagine if he gets to a fifth form. For all we know, it could be literally like a 50,000 times multiplier, So there's a lot of speculation on where this could go.
I mean, we really don't know. I mean, it's like we actually reached the final form. We don't know. According to Akira Toriyama logic, you can just keep going and going and going and going and transforming if you have enough strength to do so. So we don't know what his fifth form can possibly be.
That would make sense for him to have more time to train, because if you guys remember, Frieza couldn't really control his power. Originally, in this fight, his full 100% power, he really couldn't control it. But in other words, he probably had time to hone it better, which is probably...
You talking about when he got extra buff and muscular?
Yeah, he said himself he really couldn't control that power.
It's been many years since he's been on Namek, and he's been in Hell for a while. So for all we know, guys, he could have boosted his power a lot. Think about this. The worst wish in history. Why is bringing Frieza back to life the worst wish in the universe's history? The dragon obviously knows something, and he's keeping it from him. And by bringing Frieza back and wishing Goku never existed, it could change a lot of things. The cards are laid out on the table in many different ways, and shit's gonna hit the fan.
I actually have a question. If they bring back Frieza and wish that Goku never existed, right? Does that erase the memory of the person they bring back? Will Frieza remember? What if that second wish is for him to keep his memory? What if we don't know, because when people get wished back, do they remember? I'm talking about now, obviously when they get wished back to life, they do remember dying. But I'm talking about, what about existing? What about if you just erase, not just erase somebody or bring back somebody to life? What if you just are technically erasing time as we know it? Wouldn't that change a lot of aspects mostly?
Well, the thing is the things with time travel involved are very, very fickle. Toriyama's already proved that we don't have to worry about that, because by Trunks going back in time and changing that Earth's history, it did not have any effect on his future at all.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, in Toriyama's world of time travel, and there really is no such thing as a paradox.
This is true.
And by now, folks, we've kind of crossed the barrier of our theory, and now it's all just kind of speculation at this point. So we do appreciate you listening in on this, and we'll probably go on for a little bit longer just kind of talking about things. One of the other things that I wanted to address actually was that, and we kind of just did it, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. The whole paradox issue. I was planning on bringing that up, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, that's something that really it puzzled me just for a couple of minutes. I'm like, wait a minute. Because...
I mean, at the very least, all it would really do was create another time tangent.
Exactly.
Which we know there's 12 universes, and they're all different. They never addressed if, each one of these characters had a counterpart in the other universe. So that was never addressed either. I don't really think that's going to be the case. I am extremely curious why Goku and Vegeta are wearing different armor. I am curious why Krillin's head is shaved. I am curious why what we believe to be Yamcha on that cover, which we can almost guarantee doesn't have a scar on his face. So these are a lot of things that we need to talk about. One, that whole ripping everybody out of the universe to stop their non-existence. They might only rip the Saiyans to Beerus and Whis' universe. Yamcha and Krillin might actually stay on Earth and revert to a form that's different than them. Like you said in your original theory, how Krillin never met Goku and just never grew hair because Gero never made Android 18 and he never had a reason to grow hair for her. Yamcha never met Goku, and in his travels throughout the Dragon Ball storyline, never got a scar. For all we know, Bulma and Yamcha are married, and they don't have any kids yet, maybe, but they're together. So, Beer and Whis show up, and they literally just pull Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Goten, Trunks, Pan, and pretty much just all the Saiyans that are still alive on Earth. Maybe Vegeta's brothers Tarball's probably going to be in there, because they do need 6 Saiyans to make a Super Saiyan God. There's a lot of different things that come into play.
Very true. You never know. Chi-Chi can actually be useful, because since Goku never showed up, she might have actually kept fighting and never became a mother. So she probably is useful too.
Chi-Chi would have to go to Beer and Whis' world with Goku and them, because she is the biological mother of his children. So without her, there is no Gohan or Goten, and that just completely nullifies the Super Saiyan God issue. For all we know, there may be another way. But now that Goku has absorbed the Super Saiyan God powers, he doesn't need that ritual again. Vegeta will need it. Yeah, so everyone will have to be present. Unless there's a way that Goku finds a way to pass his God powers onto Vegeta, which I don't exactly see that happening. It's possible. It's very possible. I won't roll it out and throw it out the window, but I think it's going to be another ritual situation again. Once again, though, that's just my idea on it.
Do you think that Whis has enough time to grab everybody along with Goku? Like, I'm talking about everybody.
Maybe, absolutely.
We don't know what kind of powers Whis
Him and Beerus made it to King Kai's planet in all of like a minute whenever they wanted to go there. And they made it to Earth just as fast. They were just, boom, we're there. Almost, it's kind of funny. Sorry to go off on something a little off topic, but it does relate. I always felt like the moment I seen them traveling through their little dimensional warp beam or whatever the hell you want to call it that Whis does, that it reminded me a lot of how Thor and his fellow buddies travel to Earth in his movie.
Exactly.
It looks a lot like that. I wonder if Toriyama got a little inspiration from that movie. It's very possible. It's very possible.
That is true. That possibly could be where he got that idea from.
But, yeah. Well, what else? Is there anything else we want to touch base on?
Well,
any other ideas anyone has?
There is actually something else. You remember Piccolo's on that poster, too. How do you think he would tie into this scenario?
He would, well...
Because, technically, Goku never defeated Piccolo.
Yeah, so, he'd still be there, because technically Piccolo was on Earth. Kami would have probably still turned evil, and they split. But...
You think Krillin might have took Goku's spot in the timeline in terms of being Earth's hero?
Yamcha probably did, yeah.
Yeah, Yamcha ends up becoming like Vegeta. I told you, Yamcha's the Vegeta this series now in Earth.
I guess he would be, because Yamcha didn't exactly start off good. He didn't start off really bad, but he wasn't exactly a hero until he met Bulma and Goku. More or less, I think what it is I think Yamcha might have went on his own thing there. And Krillin is basically Master Roshi's star pupil. Yamcha had on a green outfit. That's very reminiscent of Tien's master, the Dodo Ray guy, whatever the hell his name is. I can't remember what he's called.
The Crane Master.
Crane Master something. I've been rewatching Dragon Ball, and I'm only up to like episode 80, and I haven't seen it in a couple of years, so it's been a little while.
Oh, Shin was his name. Shin.
Maybe Yamcha met up with them and became buddies, because Yamcha and Tien are good buddies in the series after the World Tournament. They were rivals, but they respected each other and they became friends after. So
he's got a good point.
Maybe that still happened.
That's a really valid point, bringing up Yamcha. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Why are his clothes green, Yeah,
that's so not close to... technically speaking, Yamcha did kind of have an outfit that had green on it, but, no, it just wouldn't fit. Why is his hair cut? Why is there so many theories?
He was a desert bandit.
Like, what?
And I just had another idea to why Goku and Vegeta's armor, and Goku's gi and Vegeta's armor has changed. Here's what I think. 3 years have passed. Goku has probably been training with Lord Beerus, or when he gets sucked into their universe and he can't leave it, he has nothing to do but train, and he's just training with Lord Beerus in his god form, because Beerus wants a good fight, and he wants Goku to get stronger. Plus, he has to prepare him to fight all these other gods. So he's rocking Beerus's logo now. Because Beerus is based off of a cat that looks a lot like an Egyptian cat. And you said that Goku had what looked to be an Egyptian logo on his gi. That might be Beerus's logo. Because we all know this. Goku's gi started off with Roshi's. When he trained with King Kai, moved on to King Kai's. Now, he might be training with Beerus, and it moved on to Beerus's. So now Goku gets a new outfit. As for Vegeta, Bulma might have just developed a better suit of armor for him. It has been 3 years. A lot of things could have changed, and most likely did. But the whole Yamcha not having a scar thing, I really think that's going to fall into our theory. And if it turns out that our theory is completely off and wrong, so be it, that's fine. We're cool with that, we understand it. But everybody's coming up with a different theory, and this is the one that we came up with, and we think is a pretty damn good theory. Because there's a lot of things on that poster. Just one picture opened up so many ideas that just have to be addressed. By the way, guys, the reason we think that's Yamcha, we originally thought it was Goten, and Alpha said to me whenever I sent him the link to it, and I was like, dude, did you see the stuff about DBZF? He's like, no, link me. So I sent it to him, and he's like, who is that? Is that Gohan or something? I'm just like, nah, it looks like if anything, it'd be Goten. He's like, yeah, because you said, is that Goten? And I'm like, if it is, he got a very Yamcha-esque look to him. Now that we think about it, we have I can't fucking talk. We have a link that we checked out from Anime News Network, and it shows the Japanese cast list of the people that are already in the movie. And obviously, Masako's in there, same Vegeta, Piccolo, etc. But Yamcha's name is at the bottom of the roster. Why are they introducing Yamcha so quick? He's on the cover of the movie. Normally, when they put all the Z Fighters on the cover of the movie, they put all the Z Fighters on the cover of the movie. But they put a distinct few people on there. And by having Krillin bald and what we think is Yamcha because his name's on the cast list at the bottom without a scar, that's where we started to come up with this theory of Goku being wished out of existence.
This is true. This is very true.
More or less, guys, we'll leave it up to you to decide, guys. You can leave in the comments below what you think happened, how you think everything came to be. And, we'd be happy to answer any comments or questions that we get. I think that's it for our speculation on that phase. Now, if Alpha and Phoenix want to go on any longer, any further, basically at this point, we're just going to be just talking to each other about random stuff. It's going to turn into kind of a podcast in a way almost. But I'm down to keep talking about DBZ if you guys want to, because I do love the series.
Oh man, I fucking love Dragon Ball Z, and I will continue to talk about it for hours on end. I don't know if they want to sit here and listen to us babble about what we think is really going on.
Yeah, I'm starting to run out of ideas on our theory, but I am pretty satisfied with everything we've talked about today, guys, and I do appreciate everyone stopping by and listening, and I hope that it's one of the more entertaining theories that you've heard. And share it around with your friends so that they can listen and give you their thoughts on it. Maybe you guys can add to what we have come up with and make it even better.
I have no more words. That's about as best I can summarize it myself.
All right. Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut it off here. I have a lot of editing to do to get this audio mixed into one nice file. And I'm going to throw this up on YouTube, and make sure that you subscribe. Click the picture of my awesome avatar right there in the middle of the screen, and you can subscribe to my channel. Other than that, we do have a little dubbing company we have called An Alliance, and we are almost done dubbing Battle of the Gods. Now, we know that Funimation's has been out, but we actually did start our fan dub of it, well before they announced they even started recording theirs. But, as you know, it is an amateur dub, and it does take a lot of time and effort and work, and we're in the finalization stages right now, so it should be out. And when it does come out, we'll definitely leave links to it everywhere. I will say this. It's a pretty damn good fan dub. It doesn't really feel like a fan dub. It feels like a professional dub. We brought in some of the best VAs we could find. We've got some high-end editing programs. We got some great audio engineers behind everything with the mixing and the sound effects. Alpha himself has been the backbone to the whole project of editing everything. I helped to direct the movie. Phoenix was helping with the casting, directing. We've all lent a lot of our time and efforts to this, and I will say this, it is as pro as it can get for fan dubs. It's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears put into this, and I really hope you guys check it out when we do drop it. And we will be dubbing DBZF, and it will go a lot smoother and a lot faster, because it won't be our first movie run. We will be coming back well prepared, much more prepared, so make sure you check that out. And if you guys haven't noticed, I like to talk.
Not really,
No, that's
about 85% of this, podcast, basically, I would call at this point, because it's been about how long now? But,
I just bumped my face off my pop filter on my Yeti, yay. That's just the universe getting back at me, guys, I'm sorry. But yeah, anyways, I guess we're gonna cut it. We should do more of these, guys. We should definitely do more of these.
Oh yeah, if we get any updates or anything like that, we'll drop more information.
Anybody want to advertise anything that they're working on right now?
I have an anime series coming out, like episode coming out next month.
Oh, next month. I didn't know it was coming that soon. I'm going to have lines to record, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean, the animation's been done, and I basically like got most of the other cast like their lines in. I just haven't. I just still working on the second episode, which I'm already more than halfway done with. So that'll be out like in January.
Nice, nice. Whenever that comes out, there will be a link in this video's description. Make sure you check out Phoenix's anime. I'll be playing a character or two in there, I think. And Alpha with Anna Lines. Me and Alpha do that, but that is not done yet, but it's coming. And I actually run Team Brotherhood with a friend of mine named Lack the Watcher, and we have 3 episodes out currently. I'll leave a link in the description to that. It's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood Abridged. We just dropped our 3rd episode, and I'm actually in the process of editing our episode 1 again, because we redid our episode 1. We kind of feel like it's a little shit compared to what we did in episode 2, and especially in episode 3, so we're gonna rectify that bad mistake that we made. Wasn't a mistake, it was a good episode, but it's not nearly as funny as the other ones and way too long. So we'll leave you guys on those notes of our shameless advertising, and like and subscribe, leave comments with questions. We will get to them as soon as possible. Please subscribe to Ann Alliance's channel from Alpha. I'll leave that in the description as well. Actually, you know what? No, click the picture right on the screen and we'll get you there. Phoenix, did you get a YouTube channel up and running for your anime yet?
Yeah, I do. It's just mine, but mine's is basically my name, just Black Phoenix. It'll pop up.
All right, so I'm going to leave a link in the description for him as well. Make sure to subscribe to him as well for his first episode when it drops and check it out.